When you're taking a look at profitability inside of a company, there are some generic ratios that you can use, and one of them is revenue per employee. So how can you use this to your advantage, and why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Sylvan, coming to you live from Consulting Secrets on a perfect day to talk about business growth opportunities, revenue per employee, profitability, and a fantastic day to talk about you. I'm coming live from Sacramento. Revenue per employee can be a straightforward number, or there's a couple of ways that you can break this up and use it to your advantage. And as you're watching your company for the next 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years before you sell, it does make sense for you to know your numbers, what your revenue per employee is. Now, every industry is a little bit different. So if I'm going to give you an example in this episode or this video, please do some research and figure out what revenue per employee for your industry, for your product, for what your service is. Okay. So I'm going to use the number of 300,000. Doesn't mean it's your number. It's just the number that I'm going to use. So if we've got a company doing 2 million in revenue, and we say that our revenue per employee should be around 300,000, that means that you have 6.5 employees. Okay. And so if you're overstaffed, it allows you to say, what's going on? Do we have log jams? Do we have decision issues? Do we have capability issues? Do we have problems on the line? Do we have problems with install? And it allows for you to do a little bit deeper inspection and retrospection. And I will share with you, depending upon where you are in the stage of your business, you're going to find that there's commonalities, there's common issues, there's common problems. And, at 10 million, if you have a revenue per employee of 300,000, you're going to have 30 employees. Somewhere-ish around there. You're going to have about 30 employees. Okay. And so one of the things that you're going to find is sometimes management just wants to throw bodies at a problem. Management just wants to say, well, just hire more people. Well, if you're watching your RPE, your revenue per employee, you can say, hey, wait a minute. How do we get this done with what we have? How come we're not fulfilling upon what needs to be done based upon the employment that we already got? How come we're not being efficient? Where's the bottleneck? Where's the logjam? What's the problem? Chances are good there's something going on inside of your business that can be fixed. It takes a little bit of work. It takes a little bit of effort and some difficult conversations, because what you're going to find is if there's a problem inside of the business and there is a logjam, it's a person or it's a process. It's a person or a process. And if it's a person, they're probably going to get their feelings hurt, or they could get their feelings hurt. If it's a process, it may take some time to fix it. But if you're looking at your revenue per employee per quarter and you're saying, hey, what's our historical average and what's going on? Or if you're looking at it every month, it allows for you to make some different decisions. It makes for like, hey, what are we doing with so many employees at this point? Oh, well, somebody was on leave and we took a couple of people and hired them to fill their spot. Okay, well, legally, do we have to keep them? Legally, are they the right people? I don't know the answer to this question. Okay. So these are some of the questions that you may ask. Jack Welch, probably one of the smartest business minds in the world, had this thing at General Electric where they would fire the bottom 10% every year. And it wasn't the employees that fought it. It was the management team that fought it because they didn't want to fire anybody. They didn't want to be the bad guy. They didn't want to be the heavy. And so it may be a sign that you've got a problem with your management team, that they're not holding people accountable. And then it's going to go back. Do you have standard operating procedures? Do you have job descriptions? Do you have org charts? Because if you don't, this is one of the things that can throw off your revenue per employee. So be aware. There's opportunities for you to keep track of a pretty simple ratio. You literally take your top line revenue and you divide it by how many employees you have. And once again, you're going to want to check your product, service, industry, and not just take my number of 300,000, because, well, I could be wrong, right? Because I may not know specifics of your industry based upon a video and content that I'm creating. You have this conversation about revenue per employee on a quarterly basis. You're going to see things change inside of the business. You have it on a monthly basis. You're going to see things change as like, where should we be? But fair warning, if you cut back too much, you're going to have problems with service and you're going to have problems with quality. So the question comes down to, how do we lower our revenue per employee, but maintain quality and maintain service for our clients? Because if you don't, then you're going to get bad reviews. And if you get bad reviews, then you got to figure out how you're going to pay for fixing them. So start with slow questions. Start with, hey, we got to have a conversation. Start with defend your position. I always enjoyed defend your position meetings because you had to come with proof. It was like a court case. All right, Scott, you've got 22 salespeople. Are you going to hire one or are you going to fire one? Defend your position. Ooh. Right? When your team has to think through problems and issues that way, it makes them better at management. Defend your position. We're going to hire or we're going to fire. Right? Where are you at? There was times where I'm like, we got too many people. We're overboard. Or we need to hire up because it's going to be the busy season and we know that. Or we have somebody who's selling below bottom line, or they have a ton of complaints. That all goes to your revenue per employee. You got one of three things to do from here. Just one of three. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.